It's Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance in the San Fernando Valley today, joined by Karo Torossian. He is a nominee for a seat on the Los Angeles City Council. The seat is in the Northeast San Fernando Valley. Congratulations, 20 candidates, now down to 2. Talk to us about the primary, how you did it, and what the voters were telling you.
Thank you very much for having me here today. It's actually an honor to be here. And it's a very humbling feeling to be in the runoff and having received the grassroots support that I did and the community-based support that I did, and the honor of the vote of the people. There were many candidates in this race, all of them doing it for the right reason, and all of them doing it because for too long the San Fernando Valley hasn't had the representation, in the Northeast San Fernando Valley in particular.
Well, literally, you didn't have representation.
We literally
because
did not.
Your the person who held the seat before left, and there was no replacement for what, 9 months?
It's almost a year now.
Almost a year. So you're running for a truly open seat.
Exactly.
What are the voters telling you? I mean, I know that the San Fernando Valley feels like a stepchild, if I can say that. But what else?
Absolutely can, and they do. And for too long, they haven't had their voice. In addition to that, the council office has used this as a stepping stone for some other thing on their own personal gain for too many years. And what they want is consistency. They want someone that they can access, and they can actually work on the issues together to be able to resolve them. There is no issue that in a 3-year window someone's going to be able to resolve the major issues and be able to protect the San Fernando Valley's open space, to bring more jobs back, to fix the homeless issue that we're facing. There's just many important criteria that we are.
I'd like to talk about homelessness, if we may, because there is no doubt that this is an issue that is touching every part of Los Angeles City and County, and really the state. What's remarkable about this issue, though, is that the voters of both the City and County of Los Angeles have been very generous. In November, a county-wide measure passed providing for homeless services. In the same election in which you advanced, a citywide measure passed, needed 2/3, it did. Did I say it?
Actually, the
opposite. It's the reverse. Yeah, it's the reverse. Thank you for that correction. It's the reverse. It was the city measure that passed in November, the county measure that passed just in March. So why do you believe that we're seeing this type of groundswell of support?
People see the homeless crisis in their communities now. We have 45,000 homeless individuals on our streets in LA County. That's unacceptable. It's unacceptable to have those individuals on our streets, but it's unacceptable as a society to allow this to continue occurring, because these are homeless families, these are veterans, these are homeless individuals that need services and need help, and we can't just allow them to be out on our streets.
And what's so interesting about this crisis is that the crisis is seen in all corners of the city and county. It's not just Skid Row. It's in Tujunga. It's in Mission Hills. It's throughout your district.
Absolutely.
And every other district too.
It's become a countywide issue, and I think that that's also been one of the reasons why people have actually realized that, have been able to see how bad of a crisis we're facing right now in their own neighborhoods, and the voters have generously opened up their hearts and opened up their wallets and are willing to address these issues. Now what we need to do is make sure that we have the right leadership that's looking at actually using this money in the right fashion and not just using it quickly to be able to get a press release out. It's more of the long-term fix of actually being able to provide the services for the individual so that we can help them get out of the homeless situation that they're in.
So let's talk about that, because like you said, the voters have been generous. We have the city measure passing, the county measure passing. In the past, there have been a lot of finger pointing between the city and the county. Hopefully those days are behind us. But presuming victory, what do you hope to do to make sure that both the city and county work together to address this crisis?
So this is the first time that the city and county have actually created an agreement together on addressing homelessness. So hopefully, making sure that everyone sticks to their portion of the agreement. But in addition to all of that, we actually need to make sure that not only we stick to those agreements, but start utilizing those funds appropriately. Unfortunately, what's happened, and people have the right idea, but the moment that the amount of money grew of available funds because of H and HHH, especially HHH, people came and said, well, we should increase the amount of subsidies we give to these different groups so that we can get this stuff moving faster. Faster is great, but if we do that, we'll build half the amount of housing that we promised the voters and half the amount of housing that we actually need to house the homeless.
City measure focused specifically on housing construction for the homeless. The county measure focused on services. It's going to take time, though, for the city measure to start expending funds for construction, or is it?
It is, but there's also opportunities where we can be creative and work with creative organizations. Hope of the Valley is a fantastic nonprofit in the San Fernando Valley, and they've created a pod. They've worked with USC, and I'm a Bruin, but I'll give USC credit in this one.
It's all good.
They created a 9-foot by 10-foot pod that's pre-manufactured. You put 30 of these together, you put a communal restroom and a communal kitchen. This is at 1/10 of the cost of permanent supportive housing. And these are manufactured in factories, and we can get these things rolling almost immediately.
And where do you place them?
That's going to be the biggest hurdle, is actually working with communities to find placement opportunities. But
I think about the Northeast Valley. I mean, you have some good open space. You know, some of it I could imagine would be appropriate for that. You have some beautiful environmental space, but you know where I'm going.
Yeah, absolutely. There's all, for example, there's all the high voltage wires.
Right, I know what you're talking about.
Throughout the San Fernando Valley, the transmission lines, and these, because they're temporary structures, can be placed under transmission lines. So,
but you want to keep them safe, though. The folks,
exactly, they will be safe, but doing so in a fashion where we'll be able to house them quickly and at least put a roof over their heads. It might not be the long-term solution, but it puts a roof over their heads. It puts a door that can lock. It creates a safe environment. It creates heating and cooling opportunities, and it gives them the opportunity to improve their life.
I want to talk about crime, if I may. What we know, interestingly, is during the recession, crime went down. The recession's over. Crime is going up. It seems counterintuitive, but we have some criminal justice reform measures, AB 109, Prop 47, Prop 57, which just passed. Who knows what's causing the increase, but what can you tell us about the city's role in crime reduction?
So one thing that's happened at the city is we've actually had less officers on our street. Right now we have less officers on our streets on a nightly basis than we did in the 1970s.
Why?
Because we've taken officers into special units. We've had a terrible problem with our workers' comp injury system, where I've talked to officers who it took 4 months to get approval from a third-party insurance company to get their back surgery. 4 months after their back surgery, 3 weeks later, they were back on the force.
And so it could have been a month total.
That was a loss for the city. It was a loss for that individual, because they don't want to be at home when they're an officer wanting to serve on our streets. Right now, Mission Division and Foothill have a minimum deployment of 4 vehicles. These are areas that cover more than 250,000 population, have 28 square miles each.
So can you, as a council member, effectuate change?
Absolutely, and it's bring back the special units, put civilians into some of these roles. Right now, we have officers that are watching body camera footage of other officers.
And civilians arguably
a civilian could be doing that. We have officers doing desk duty where civilians can be doing that and put the officers back on our streets. That we have a lot of specialized units that could be transformed back to patrol.
Right.
And
I want to wish you the very best of luck. The election, the runoff election, is May 16th for the City of Los Angeles seat in the Northeast San Fernando Valley. His name is Karo Torossian. He is one of the nominees for that seat. My name is Brad Pomerance. We thank you so much for joining us on Local Edition.